Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to one of the last few sessions of Tealium Digital Velocity today. I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful event that the Tealium team has put together for you over the last couple of days. And I hope you're really looking forward to a very insightful session with Legal & General now. We're going to take you through how Legal & General are combining real-time behavioral data on Tealium with lifetime customer insights in Snowflake. My name is Rocca. I'm an account director at Snowflake. I look after the partnership with these guys at Legal & General. And today, I'm going to lead this session for you. Josh and Gareth, would you like to introduce yourself briefly for the audience?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. So my name is Gareth Jones. So I'm Senior Product Owner for our Marketing Technology team. So my role is really about leading cross-functional teams to try and help improve our customer experience and our marketing effectiveness. Typically, that involves solving lots of problems with our data and technology. Well, I'm quite conscious, though, that this is the third time that many of you will have heard from L&G at this event so far. So please bear with us. We're going to try and tell you something new. It is 4:30. Hannah's next. The bar will be open soon. So we'll try and keep the energy up and, give you some insights.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Williams. So I work in MarTech engineering at Legal & General, and my main role is to kind of implement and maintain and kind of really take those ideas forward and kind of implement the platforms.
Cool. Thank you, guys. So I want to start directly with your Customer 360 data strategy. Can you give us an overview of your data strategy and maybe elaborate a bit more on the role that data plays in delivering better customer experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think those of you that will have listened to our boss, James O'Keefe, talk about L&G and on our background. So, we offer some really complex but really important financial products for our customers, for 40 million customers in the UK. Things like life insurance, things like pension savings, things like retirement income. And these are things that our customers don't really interact with very often. They're quite hard to understand. And, you don't interact with them on a regular basis. So, it's really imperative for us that we make sure that our customers have good financial futures. That's good for our customers, and that's how we're going to grow the business and lifetime value for us long term. So our customer strategy is really about knowing our customers much more effectively, helping them with the relevant information that they need about our products, and empowering them to make the decisions, and understanding all of the data that plays a role in that. And our team is trying to solve some really big challenges to achieve that strategy. So you've heard lots of times over the course of today and yesterday about the problem with data silos. I think somebody yesterday articulated it really well. We still do lots of manual wrangling on data when we do get those customer interactions. That takes days and it takes weeks for teams to Jeff's nodded there. Yeah, data wrangling, we need to get rid of it, because fundamentally, we have long periods of latent customer interaction, and then when we do get customer interactions, they can happen in a matter of minutes and provide real insights to us. So what we need to do is make sure that we have the data in the right place, and we can access that in real time. So we've got that opportunity to influence the customer in that moment and help them. L&G as a business is intermediated, so there is a big gap between us and our customers. So most of our customers don't actually choose us as a brand. They are introduced to us through their employer or through another intermediary. So most people don't really think of their pension provider as a brand that they've chosen with. So we need to kind of establish a much closer relationship with our customers. And then, we've got to meet really, really big challenges to make sure that our products serve the needs of our customers. So pension adequacy is a great example. And what we mean by that is fundamentally, we know that most people in the UK aren't saving enough for their retirement. And when people can influence that most is when they're younger, but not necessarily when they need to think about it. So, real-time data, key strategy, understanding our customers, being able to activate that to build that relationship with the customers is absolutely critical to where we're going. So over the past 3 years, it's been all about trying to piece together that customer 360 view, both from an analytical and from a low latency data perspective. So, we can understand customer needs and we can intercept customers when we've got that opportunity to talk to them. And that's why, both Tealium and Snowflake together have been a critical part of our strategy to help achieve that.
Thank you, Gareth. I think there's quite a lot of food for thought, I would say. Personally, few points resonate with me and potentially with the audience. Understanding your customer needs, providing the right information at the right time to your customers, but also building closer relationships, connecting with them, and obviously the real-time elements. Now, as I said in my intro, you're combining real-time behavioral data in Tealium with lifetime customer insights in Snowflake. And we hear it more and more in the marketing technology landscape that Tealium and Snowflake are actually described as better together. And you probably just said that yourself as well. So maybe can you give us an overview of that, of what that better together means, how the integration works, why do you think it's so powerful, and how it helps legal and general extract more value from the data?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you take a brief glance at the slides over my shoulders, you'll see that on the left of the slide, we've got Tealium. Now, obviously, we have Tealium. That's why we're here. And you probably guessed it, Tealium operates in real time. So Tealium is one of our highest velocity data platforms in the business. It is real time. It doesn't get much quicker. But what Tealium also has for us is an incredible amount of variety of data. It's taking data from an enormous amount of data sources and also forwarding and orchestrating that data to a wide variety of places, which we'll come to in a bit more detail in a moment. And then on the other side of the slide, we've got Snowflake. Snowflake doesn't really need much kind of introduction. It is, a market-leading kind of data warehouse or cloud data warehouse, and sort of it has deep capability in data science, data engineering, operations, and it is kind of really the best of what it does. And we see that kind of on both sides of the equation, we believe we've got the best in breed at what each respective platform does. And so you can see that you've got Snowflake holding a customer 360. It holds models. It has the ability, propensity models, lifetime value models, but it has the ability to execute and call those models at high pace, and Tealium has the ability to call those models. So Snowflake is handling all of our deep analytics for our customers. Gareth mentioned our customers are with us for an incredibly long time, so a lot of our analytical capability has to have an incredible time horizon to it. To really kind of drive out understanding. And so, we look around, we've got, data access. And so data access is incredibly important. And Snowflake, is quite accessible, and Tealium really integrates with that, really quite well. So we've kind of got this data foundation, and then Tealium enriching it and expanding it and making it better. But I truly believe that actually, insights are meaningless if you have no capacity or capability to drive change with the insight that you've gathered. And that is where kind of, and sort of some organizations can fall down, is that the insights never leave a PowerPoint slide. And I think that's where Tealium really accelerates us forward into that activation layer, and takes these incredibly complex, deep analytical models and enriches them and forwards them in real time to kind of activation channels. And that can be anything. It can be CRM, it can be paid media. We do have conversion APIs across the board. And it enables us to really then, with those conversion APIs and with Snowflake, is to actually close that loop. If I had a bit more time, I might have put a sort of ring around this slide where it's actually a sort of self-fulfilling cycle. And everything that I've just talked about is underpinned by the kind of integrations that Tealium offers with Snowflake, Snowflake, Snowpipe streaming. So we are pushing data into Snowflake in real time using an event-based architecture, which is very close to my heart. And we heard Jeff talk about that. Event streaming of data is the future, and not storing duplication of data at rest is something that we are incredibly passionate about, and I'm sort of incredibly passionate about.
Thank you, Josh. That was great. I think you framed it in a very logical way. I think you need strong data foundations to generate reliable insights, and then you want to use those insights for your activation to deliver bi-directional real-time orchestration, and make sure that you have the most relevant message for the most relevant individual on the most relevant channel. So that was really clear. You were mentioning real time. Gareth was also mentioning real time. And I think, real time is one of the key capabilities in a CDP, because it gives you the opportunity to activate in the moment and interact in the moment. So maybe can you share some of the use cases that Tealium and Snowflake power for legal and general, and maybe also some of the capabilities that you're using from both platforms?
Yeah. Absolutely. So we should have some use cases appearing above my shoulders again, as if by magic. And I watched Mike earlier, and I promise you he didn't tee me up for this, but he kind of did accidentally. So we use Tealium to take data. So our application journey for one of our products is quite long. It's a regulatory requirement. It has to ask lots of questions. You have to know how tall you are, how heavy you are, however uncomfortable that may be. And then there's kind of other questions about your medical background and things like that. So it has it's got a high dropout rate, but also it has a point where customers can sometimes struggle. And so whilst that's a digital journey, utilizing the capabilities of Tealium, we are able to understand customers who are facing a sort of point of pain in that application journey, and we can actually route them to our call center. Now, this call center solution is actually bespoke, and it kind of shows the power and flexibility of Tealium. We built it ourselves. So I was listening when Mike was talking about all the call center integrations that are coming down the line. I'll be tapping those up. And we saw a 54% increase of kind of call to lead conversion, which is really fantastic, and it delivers better customer experience, because the call center know why they're calling, or they know the reason for their call, and actually they know what question that they kind of they struggled on, and they can tailor their approach. The next use case is kind of bread and butter, if you like, for a CDP and a real-time data orchestration platform. It's kind of online digital journey optimization. And so with this, we saw we have a needs-based journey. And so what you find in the life insurance market is a number of our customers don't actually know what they need. We have products such as level or decreasing. Do you want to just cover your mortgage, or do you want to look after your family for the rest of their life? People don't actually know kind of what level of cover that is appropriate for them. And so with this, as the customer is giving us that zero-party data, they are telling us something about them. They're telling us where they live. They're telling us their age. They're telling us a few other pieces of information. We are able to surface and call messages in real time, and basically personalize little banners that say, 50% of people in the area where you live, insert area here, are going for X amount of cover. And that kind of helps the customers on that needs-based journey. And we saw 15% increase in conversion rate, where people weren't dropping out because actually they were being helped over that hump, if you like, of pain. And then the final one is the kind of the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake for us. It's kind of our proprietary lifetime value model. It's in Snowflake, and so effectively what happens, again, using Tealium's bidirectional capability in real time, is going back to that very long, very complicated application process that I referred to. If a customer does get to the end, with all of the information that they've told us, we actually have enough information to accurately predict their lifetime value to the business before they've even taken out the policy. Obviously, we hope they do take out the policy and that, you know, becomes a sale. But what we're able to do with that is, as those applications are submitted, we get the lifetime value model. It's, you know, called upon in Snowflake, pushed into Tealium, and then it's pushed downwards and out into the paid media ecosystem and kind of into CRM systems. So an example is we use ROAS-based bidding or value-based bidding or AI-powered bidding, as Google have decided it's now called, to optimize our campaigns. And we also do likewise in Meta as well. So yeah, we're maximizing value by using real-time data. And so we see significant uplift in that. We can't sort of give too much information because, as I said, it's quite proprietary. It's based on a number of factors and weights that are kind of, you know, unique to the individual and unique to us as a business. But we are incredibly confident that we're sort of diverting kind of a vast majority of our marketing investment to being powered by this model.
These are some of our favorite examples of where we managed to sort of drive out, push a model into Tealium where it's been used for, you know, real-time activation or, you know, across all of our key channels. I think one of my favorite things about this slide is what's not on it, which is that these are the ones that were successful. You know, we have plenty of experiments that, you know, either haven't made much of a difference to customer experience or, you know, in the odd case, has made customer experience worse. And that's why the analytical foundation is really important. So I think one of my favorite stats I learned last year was about 70% of all experience experiments either don't have a significant outcome or they fail, basically. And that's consistent. That's consistent across different businesses and different industries. And it's very, very hard to change that outcome. Where you can put the odds in your favor is create the analytical ability to understand the outcomes much more quickly. And so that's what we've done with all of these use cases. So as Josh spoke about, you know, so we use cloud data warehouse exports into Snowflake. We're now using Snowpipe to stream that data in real time. And what we do is we unify that with all of our core systems data. So all of our lead indicators that show us that customer experience is changing, all of our lag indicators that show us that a commercial outcome is about to happen. And that allows us to automate all of the analysis of these experiments. So previously, what used to happen was that, you know, our testing analysts and our channel managers and business teams would have like bi-weekly meetings on how well tests were performing. They would all kind of bring their own cuts of data from their own channel. And, you know, they would sort of talk and debate about how well tests were going or how long they should run for. And, you know, it was this sort of mediation session to work out this long calendar of tests that we want to roll out. And it's just a hugely inefficient process. But so some of the clever people in our analytics team, you know, have used that unified view of the data within Snowflake of our experiments to remove any ambiguity of what how a test is performing. But we now automate all of our significance analysis. And the great thing about that is we've got real-time notifications internally of when something does reach significance. And so what that means is that we can move on to the next test much more quickly and increase our velocity. And so really, the sort of strategic value we can create from both Snowflake and Tealium is not just, you know, creating new individual use cases that we can do before, but it's creating that capability for our teams to grow the value we can get from customer experimentation over time.
I have to say, guys, wow. I mean, those numbers are outstanding. Shall we give these guys a round of applause? I mean,
it was all us. Yeah, it's just us two.
I mean, I'm sure every CMO out there would be really, really interested in replicating these numbers. And I think for me, the two things that stand out are definitely having the customer support as, you know, one of the channels that you use to deliver your message. And I think, you know, it adds a very nice human element. And I think also your point, Gareth, on continuously analyzing and improving. I think, you know, there are quite a lot of opportunities in that space, but many times when we approach projects, we're more focused on what happens at the beginning rather than setting up the flywheel that enables us to understand how we can adjust and optimize moving forward. Now, guys, was it all smooth sailing? Any bumps on the road? Any challenges? And maybe most importantly for the guys in the audience, any learnings you might want to share?
I mean, there's tons of challenges that we've had over the past 3 years, and the way I interpret that question is what has slowed us down the most. Josh and myself both are only happy when we're working and delivering at a pace, and there are problems, trying to integrate technology and work with technology, but they're fairly minor. The technology of Snowflake and Tealium is not really the problem. There is great features and functionality, within those platforms that we can work with. It's organizations, and it's the glue, and it's the people, and it's the process that make it very, very difficult to get this stuff really sort of adopted. So, my role as a product owner is to try to set a vision for value for the business of this capability and what we can deliver for customers, and fight to get that understood by our key stakeholders. Make sure that we get the right funding, the right prioritization. We have the right dependencies aligned, and that's all about making sure that for me, that we can communicate and we can tell a good story about how much value we can create from creating customer experience, and we can improve that through the analytics, and that's why we need to do them together. So we take really practical steps. So when we sort of talk to the business about use cases that we've just explained, we will demo Tealium and how Tealium's role in that individual use case will show trace. At our key stakeholder meetings, and we'll always shine a light on how we're going to prove and how we're going to measure the outcomes, and we'll talk about that sprint reviews. We'll talk about it at sort of show and tells. We'll take that to management and senior leadership forums, and we'll take it to internal conferences, because it's really about making sure that the business people and data people are really aligned on how and what value can be created by connecting the two together. Thoughts?
Yeah, I've escaped me who said it, so apologies, but at some point today I heard the phrase "technology is never the problem," and it's sort of stuck in there because I think it's fundamentally true. Where a sort of technologist, where we've come unstuck is people and processes, and I think we've heard about it throughout the day around it's people transformation rather than technology transformation. And I think that's kind of really, really true. An example, like a kind of a real sort of life example for us. And I'm going to call Ian out from one of the sessions yesterday, just a little bit, when he showed us how easy it is to integrate Tealium and Snowflake. And it really is that easy, as he showed you. There's a little bit where he went, "Oh, you just put in the details that your Snowflake admin will give you there." And that took us months and months. So, the example of this challenge is that I'm sort of an admin of Tealium, if you like, and I'm used to sort of being admins of other platforms that I've previously worked in. If I need to hook it up to Facebook or Google, I just will. With Snowflake, that wasn't the case. I'm not an administrator of Snowflake, and nor should I be. And so, to integrate it, you need to actually get a service type account, like an automated service account, which has actually very high permissions. It needs the permissions to create, update, modify, and delete data, which in an organization such as ours poses incredible kind of governance questions, which is absolutely right. It should be, our Snowflake instance and our data as a whole should be incredibly well governed. We're a highly regulated business, and we heard about a data foundation. That data foundation needs to have some governance behind it, and that's absolutely fine. And so what really slowed us up was actually, trying to take our, data teams or data ops teams and kind of data engineering teams on this journey. And we had to kind of explain to them why we wanted, Snowpipe streaming to be a success, and why we needed it, and the use cases that we'd washed out that were going to require it and were going to drive it. And so we truly believe that kind of just a general ethos needs to be that, Tealium's been born out of sort of the DMP, the CDPs come from the DMP, and it typically lives in marketing functions or CRM type functions, or customer-centric type functions. And Snowflake typically lives in a different part of the organization. And so, we don't want our real-time customer data platform to be pulled down to the lowest common pipeline, which is kind of sometimes the approach. We truly believe in order to kind of have this kind of real-time data source, you really need to raise the floor. And I think that was kind of a real kind of conversation and something that we had to do in order to implement the sort of streaming APIs with Tealium. So it's not a challenge that is insurmountable. And I just want to finish by by giving the reverse flip side of that, because it wasn't all doom and gloom. It took a couple of months, but what's come out the other side of it is Tealium is now part of our enterprise architecture. It's now part of it's part of the puzzle. If you look up our enterprise architecture, Snowflake's always been there. It typically always is in large, huge organizations. Tealium's now there right alongside it. And I think, Tealium met the highest bar that we set as an organization and the highest standard for kind of, control, governance and operability. And I think, it was worth it because now every subsequent integration and question mark, enterprise people are going, oh, Tealium, yeah, that's fine. That's good. And so it was really well worth it. So a little bit of a challenge, but one that, we've overcome and, I'd recommend everyone else try and achieve.
Okay, thank you. I mean, unfortunately, we're approaching the end of our time and the clock is ticking. Thank you, guys. That was amazing. Just want to say for the audience, Gareth and Josh are sticking around for drinks and dinner. So my recommendation is that you approach them with any questions. We're not going to have time for questions, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you. I think it was really insightful. Thanks very much, guys. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you.